You're listening to The Locker Room with Billy Schweim on 97.3 ESPN and the free 97.3 ESPN mobile app.
All right, we're back broadcasting live at the Toms River Auto Group studio right here in Northfield. Billy Schweim, Danny Ryan.
Tommy Green. 2 outs, no base runners, ninth inning. Green working on a no-hit, no-run game. Tim Wallach is 0 for 1, has walked, line to right, and walked. Hard ground ball, great grab, Green. It's over. He's pitched a no-hit, no-run game, making the final out himself. Tommy Green, a no-hitter.
All right, let's go on the mound with former Phillies pitcher Tommy Green. Brought to you by the John R. Elliot Hero Campaign for designated drivers, reminding you not to drink and drive and to always have a designated driver. Sign up now for the 12th annual Hero Walk and Run on the Ocean City Boardwalk Sunday, October 15th. Go to herocampaign.org to register today for the Hero Campaign's biggest fundraiser and help them prevent drunk and impaired driving. That's the herocampaign.org. Let's welcome into the locker room our good buddy, and it never gets old, Tommy Green.
Hey, good afternoon or good morning.
Hey, Tommy, I got to tell you.
Whichever one it is.
Well, it's morning, but I'll tell you this, Tommy. I know you did it, but I love hearing that it never gets old.
I'll tell you what, it's to hear Harry's voice, that's what it's about. Yeah, so I mean, I get to hear it because of you guys.
I know you do. I know
y'all heard it when it happened. You know. Yeah.
Hey, Tommy, let me ask you this question. A lot has been made the last couple days. It's been all over social media. It's been the talk of the town. Standing ovation for Trea Turner. Boo Trea Turner. Do you think that the standing ovation had any effect on him?
I mean, me personally, no. It's always good, for the fans to have your back, and for what he's saying. But he's going to go about his business the same way that he does. And the way I look at it, he's due to be successful because he's a career 300 hitter. He's due to go the other way too. And get on a little bit of a run, and then start doing things, good. Baseball's got a strange way of bringing you down a little bit, to keeping you humble, and that's exactly what it does to people.
Yeah, but Tommy, over the years, I mean, throughout his whole baseball career, starting in high school, he's never been through such a slum like this. And you've seen he's been playing horribly in the defensively. He's been making more errors than usual. You could see his demeanor, his body language. He's going through something, and I gotta believe. Now, I wasn't a proponent of giving him a standing ovation. I wasn't going to boo him either. But guess what? I gotta believe it gave him a little extra. It made him feel good, like the fans got my back.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about that. When the fans, are there for you, knowing that you're struggling. But as long as he's going about his business the right way, not making any excuses, going out there busting his tail, they'll have his back like that, and they showed him. And that's the good part about it. If somebody not asking them for an ovation, if somebody they're giving him that ovation because they want to see him good, and and they expect him to be better, because he is that type of player. To be that 300 hitter, consistently through his big league career, that's the way he's been. Why shouldn't you expect him to be a little better? So I mean, that's just me, But I know human beings struggle at times, and he's going through something right now he's really never been through. So it's a little bit of a bit of humble pie, a little bit, and he's put his nose to the grindstone, and he's having to work through things because this year's not coming as easy, so to speak, as it has in the past to him a little bit. So I mean, it's just the way human nature is, and sometimes you have to work through those things, and that's why I think the Philly fans jumped on board and were supporting him like that, because he is going about his business the right way.
Hey, Tommy, Danny Ryan here, producer for The Locker Room every Sunday. I want to ask you, The Phillies made a few moves at the MLB trade deadline, picking up Rodolfo Castro from the Pittsburgh Pirates, a utility infielder. Can play a little bit of outfield, but more importantly, Michael Lorenzen, the Tigers' lone all-star pitcher this season. What did you think about Dombrowski's moves at the deadline?
Well, I mean, I'm always all about you can never have enough pitching. And for them to get a guy that can basically do both, man, he's a true athlete, too.
He is.
He's one of those guys, but he can swing the bat a little bit, too, but it's not going to do him any good right now because he hasn't really been doing it in a while. But have him step in and do what he did the other night, giving us the innings he did and the outing he did is exactly what we need. Now, whether their plan is, I don't know for definite. If they're going to a six-man, maybe give the guys extra day like a Wheeler and Nola. Maybe that kicks them up, or kicks Nola up a little bit. He gets a little more sharper. He needs to be. But I mean, it could be a good thing. And then I mean, if everything gets down to the line and things, he can also be used in the pen too because he's done that job.
We're talking with former Phillies pitcher Tommy Green. Every Sunday he joins us throughout the baseball season on the mound with Tommy Green, brought to you by the John R. Elliott Hero Campaign for designated drivers. Tommy, a lot has been made about Kyle Schwarber in the one hole. The Phillies have been winning, got a winning record. I think believe they're 35-20 with Schwarber. He's batting 176. Would you, if you were the manager, would you make an adjustment there, or would you just keep it the same?
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's my. You winning. I mean, why are you gonna mess with something winning? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but he's batting 176.
Like they were talking about Bone. I was listening to the radio company before I got on with y'all, and they're talking about Bone. Why mess with him? Because he's not hitting more home runs than you think he should. You leave that dude alone. It's the same way. It goes the same way. So I mean that's just my theory on it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Tommy, the Philadelphia Phillies are 9 games over 500 right now. They're the second wild card position. They're behind San Francisco and ahead of Cincinnati. Are you comfortable? I mean, you think this Phillies team will make the playoffs?
Well, I tell you what. I mean, I feel like they are. I feel like they're capable of putting on a run here that kind of separates and puts a lot of pressure on other teams. To keep winning too, and I think they just they can't afford to give away games that they're supposed to win or winning like they did this past week. We should have been 6-1 rather than less than 4-3 this past week. Yeah. It's a winning week. Don't get me wrong. To me, that's a good week. You're winning. You're winning week each time. As far as I go from Sunday to Saturday, is the way I look at it. But we had a chance to win 2 other ball games. We could have had a 6-1 week. Right. And that's a huge thing. You're giving away games on plays that should be made. Plays that should be made, and that type of things are giving away runs. And I mean, it's that because you got to pick each other up. Bottom line, you got to pick each other up. And there's a couple times it hurt us this week, and we just got to shore up the defensive side of things. We got to make the plays. And that's bottom line.
Hey, Tommy, baseball players superstitious? I mean, on the whole, are you a superstitious person when you played?
I wasn't overly, but I had my little things that if everything's good. My thing was if I used to wear stirrups. People would just wear socks. We had stirrups. We had sanitary socks.
Right.
The white, and then the stirrups you put on. And depending on how I was, depending on if you had a good game, I made sure I put the stirrups, on the same foot, each time, And then once if you did pitch good, you just mix it up again, So I mean that was my only thing. But you tell we are creatures of habit. So if things, we tend to do things over and over and over and over again. That's the thing. The pitching, you got to repeat to be consistent.
Hey, Tommy, on the 93 team, was there anybody that was really overly superstitious?
Oh my God! Hey, evaluate your question. Who do you think was that guy?
Probably.
Who do you think was that guy?
Dykstra?
Oh my God! Yes. There's no question. Hands down. Well,
how about Dutch? How about Dutch Thought? Was he superstitious?
I mean, he wasn't as obvious as as Dykstra. He was unbelievable. I mean, he probably went through I don't know how many sets of batting gloves if he didn't get a hit. I don't know. You'd have to ask Frank Kopenbarger, that our clubhouse manager at the time. Frank, man, poor Frank. I felt sorry for him and what he went through. So.
Well, he's down here in Ocean City as well. We'll have to get him on one day and talk about who's superstitious.
Frank, I tell you what, he's got some good ones. So,
Tommy Green, what pitcher? Like, I mean, is our ace still Zach Wheeler? I mean, no, Aaron Nola's been very inconsistent this year. Taijuan Walker, who's pitching today, he's 12-4 with a 3.99 ERA. I mean, who's like these are the dog days of summer. We talked about that last week, but I guess Zach Wheeler would be still considered our ace, right?
Well, I mean, you see, I look at things different than you look at things. The fans want to call somebody an ace or whatever, or he's the number one guy. That guy pitching that day on the mound is the number one guy. Is the number one guy. Because anybody, hey, you're going to go through times where you scuffle. Wheeler's done it. Nola's done it. They all done it. But it's all about who's going hot at the time. He's your number one. He's your stopper. Right. If something's going awry, if you've lost, it doesn't matter. People like to put number ones and stuff on the category like that, but it's not like that. I mean, hell, I started on a route where they considered me the fifth starter at the time, and I started out friggin' my first 15 games or 10 games or 12 games. I was like 9-0 or something like started out the season. So how do you start at number 5 and tell him he's still a number 5 when he's out doing everybody else?
Right.
So it's not. Okay. It's about you. It's about you going out there that day and doing your job, and keeping your team in the game. And basically, you're a number one guy doing that. So I mean, because you can't win the game yourself anymore. As a pitcher, you can't hit anymore. There's games I've won the game. I've knocked in the run and scored a run and won the game. I was responsible for all 3 runs. So I mean, as far as that, I mean, it's not just me. You had guys on in front of me, but it's that type of way.
Right.
So you can't talk about things as a pitcher. You can't say things about them, about the team unless you got control of it too. You got to shut your mouth. He said, "You do it yourself, then."
Right.
And, I mean, it's that type of mentality you got to have. You can't run. You can't talk about. You got to support your teammates, pick your teammates up, and do and be there like that. And if you get an opportunity to make a difference in the ball game, you're hoping you can pull it off. And that's exactly what Trea Turner and them goes through when you scuffle a little bit. Just that opportunity to consistently get out there and work through these struggles sometimes. And fortunately, they paid him a lot of money. They're going to use him, and they're going to, he's going to get the chance to work through this. A lot of guys don't get that opportunity.
Right.
Yeah. So, and that's a huge thing sometimes. So, he's going to be fine. He's going to come through this, and we're going to look back at it. Man, he had a great month and a half left, this season, and that's going to be the beauty of things. That's going to be the beauty of the thing. You got to think positive, but you take a day at a time. You take a day at a time, and you keep working. He had a great day yesterday. Let's build on it. Let's keep building that positive vibe and go forward.
You're completely right, Tommy, and I'm glad you brought up Trea Turner again because I want to ask you, as a former player yourself, I know you said you don't really believe that the standing O has all to do with Trea Turner's recent success, but if you, during your career, were scuffling the past, let's just say 2 months or so, an ERA close to 5, if somebody said, hey, we're going to stop booing you, we're going to give this guy a standing O and hope he pitches better, do you think that would benefit you on the mound if you were scuffling?
No, I mean, me personally, because, it's great that the fans do that, and it's awesome. Mm-hmm. It's awesome, but it comes down to me. I got to execute, and the reason I'm not executing is because I'm not getting a standing O. Mm-hmm. It's sort of like watching Kevin Costner's For the Love of the Game movie. A lot of times when I'm out there pitching, it's a lot of white noise sometimes. Right, I'm not hearing the other stuff, you know what I mean? Like especially when you're pitching in Shea Stadium and everybody talking about your mama or whatever, and you don't hear it. You got to train yourself to let stuff like that go and just drowned out. And that's what part of being in the minor leagues and coming up through and pitching in front of bigger crowds as you mature up through the minor leagues when you're younger helps you. It helps you get through times like that. That was some of the biggest advice I ever got from my first pitching coach with the Braves, Leo Mazzone. He says, don't be in awe of the situation around you. The game is not played up in the stands. The game is 60 foot, 6 inches away from you.
All right. Tommy.
So that's where your focus is at. So, I mean, that's as a pitcher is what we got to do.
Tommy, coming up, I believe like next Sunday is the Phillies reunion. You're going to be seeing a lot of your old former teammates and a lot of the old Phillies. You all going to be down there. You're looking forward to that?
Well, I always look good to look forward to seeing my extended families the way I look at it, because that's what they are. There are a lot of my good friends. They're my brothers. They were my brothers, and when I played, and then they're still my extended brothers. Even though we don't get together like we all want to, but we do still get together a couple times through the year. Because a large part of this team is a big contingent at fantasy camp.
Yeah.
So it's a huge thing to get to spend some quality time with these guys. Get to see maybe some guys you haven't seen. I'm hoping Nick Avila is still able to make it. I haven't seen him since I played with him.
How's he doing? Is he doing?
Which is going to be a good time. I have no idea.
Okay.
Other than I think he's still been doing pretty good.
Yep.
But what he does, he coaches ball. He's a big manager in independent ball and really enjoys it and is good at it. So, which is a good thing.
All right, Tommy Green. I know you're headed down to the ballpark today. Have a great day. Let's bring us a Phillies win, and we'll see you next Sunday.
You got it, pal. Looking forward to it.
There he is, Tommy Green. Every Sunday throughout the baseball season, we go on the mound with former Phillies pitcher Tommy Green, brought to you by the John R. Elliot Hero Campaign for designated drivers, reminding you not to drink and drive and to always have a designated driver. Sign up now for the 12th annual Hero Walk and Run on the Ocean City Boardwalk, Sunday, October 15th. Go to herocampaign.org to register today for your Hero Campaign's biggest fundraiser and help them prevent drunk and impaired driving. That's herocampaign.org.